What's going on, guys? White Fox Told 25 here with another video, and today I'm talking about Fallout 4, a game I'm super excited for, and we got a lot of information on yesterday at E3, so we have a lot to go over. We're going to be talking about the story, the new base building that looks incredible, the crafting system, your dog companion, pretty much everything that we learned from the game. I'm going to be going over. I kind of want this to be like the perfect guide for everything you have to know about Fallout that we learned from E3. So let's just start off with the beginning of the demo and what we know about the story. So it starts before the actual blast, and you're with your family. You start on this really cool character creation screen. It's kind of you and your wife looking into the mirror. I like how they kind of interluded it with the story like Bethesda likes to do. But yeah, it's you and your wife kind of getting ready for the morning, and you can change the way you look. The character creation just looks like super in depth. You can play as a guy or a girl, and this looks really good. You basically like sculpt your face. It's not like the slider, and it's definitely way more in depth than the character creation in Fallout New Vegas that I thought was really lacking, but it looks really good, really in depth. You think you can pretty much make whatever you want, and if you can envision a character, I'm almost positive you can make it in game. Like I said, you can play as a guy or a girl, but you can also customize your wife even if you plan on playing as the guy and vice versa, so I thought that was kind of a cool feature. But after you leave that screen, you're kind of just wandering around your house. You do have a kid, and the kid is rendered based on the looks you pick for your wife and yourself, or yourself and your husband, which I thought was a nice little touch, and I think it's kind of cool that they added that. After that, Vault is going to come to your door, Vault Tech is going to come to your door. They're going to ask you for some information on yourself, and it's basically what you felt like your name and your stats and all that kind of stuff. One cool thing is that they have recorded 1,000 common names in the game, so your robot butler will talk to you, which is really cool, and it'll say your name, and I'm sure other characters in the game will say your name too. So that's just a reason kind of to pick a common name, and it's a really cool feature that really no games have really implemented, so I think it's kind of cool that they put that in the game. But anyway, after that, you just kind of hang out with your family for a little bit, and then you hear on the news that the nukes are dropping, and you're all running to the vault trying to get in, and the blast goes off, and it doesn't look like you're in the vault, but I guess you get lowered in before the nuke really reaches you, and you come out 200 years later as the only survivor. So your wife and your son did die. That's how the game starts, and they really didn't want to spoil a lot of the story, so we really know nothing else. But after that, in the gameplay demo, he walks around. We get to look at the graphics and the world, which look beautiful, but we'll talk about that a little later. And then you come across the dog, which is going to serve as your companion in this game. It looks like. It doesn't look like it's really an option. It looks like it's definitely going to be part of the story. You're part of the game that they're really trying to push. But the one thing that's cool about the dog, it's not like one of the companions in Skyrim that kind of really didn't have that much of a purpose other than helping you and keeping you company. This dog can interact with stuff. You can point and tell him what to attack. He can also go and grab stuff and bring it to you. He looks like he can really interact with the environment, and you can really interact with him, which is really just kind of amazing and really nice to see, because everyone made fun of the companions in Skyrim because really they weren't there to do much other than keep you company and help you out a little in fights, even though they were pretty weak. This looks a little more fleshed out and a little more really in depth, so it's nice to see that, and it's always cool to have a dog with you. I really love dogs, so pretty excited about that. We also saw that the Pip-Boy will return. It looks a little more, enhanced, a better, layout. You can also play mini games on it, which is kind of cool. I think they showed like a Donkey Kong kind of spin-off game. So a nice little thing to do that you can play like these arcadey games on your Pip-Boy. I thought that was kind of cool. Other than that, guys, we got a really good look at the crafting and base building system. One of the things that got me the most excited when I watched it, the base building is incredible, but for now, let's just talk about the crafting. You can really pick up any item in the game, even if it seems worthless, like a microscope, a globe, a race car, and you can get the raw materials from that. So let's say I picked up a microscope. I can use the glass from that microscope and use it on my scope, or if I picked up the toy car, I can use the screws from the wheels, so using a gun or something. So really everything is kind of realistic. It's not like you're melting down a plastic toy and getting, metal. It's kind of cool that they implemented that, you're getting like not just like the raw material from melting something down, but actually getting something that was part of it. I like that attention to detail. I think it's really cool. But anyway, you'll get these items and you'll use them to get more raw materials, and from that you can create, weapons and accessories. Fallout 4 will feature 50 base weapons and 700 weapon mods that will help you customize them. So it's safe to say you're not going to be lacking firepower in this game. Definitely not a lack of selection. Sounds like a huge amount of guns, and just the guns you can customize really well. Even melee weapons you can customize customized we saw in the demo. So it looks really great, and like I said, the crafting looks even better than Skyrim's. Looks really improved and looks really just fantastic. So I'm really excited about the crafting, which isn't something I usually get excited about. But you can also craft and heavily customize your own power armor, which is something, you know, it's a staple of the Fallout series. So definitely cool that you can do that. We got to see a little bit of that in the demo too. Now let's get into the base building and the compound building and the house building. That's something that I'm super excited for. It looks really amazing. So basically in Fallout 4, there's going to be some allotted areas where you can build, you know, settlements and compounds. There does look to be quite a few of them, but you can't just build it anywhere. But it looks like there's going to be a lot of places where you can build, which is cool, and you can have more than one. But you can basically just build your own house and your own compound as you see fit. It looks like an extremely flexible system, which is really cool. The way it works is kind of like the other crafting system where you recycle like sheet metal and stuff like that, so you can actually build, and you have to get that raw material. But after you have that, the freedom just opens up. You know, you can build, you know, a small house, or you can build like huge compounds. It looks so complicated and it's so amazing. The amount of stuff you can build, it looks like it could take hours, and really it's going to take up a lot of time. But you can make generators for power. You can have a farm to grow food. You can have water pumps, you know, to get water. And as people will visit your compound, and you need to increase the amount of stuff you have to feed them and give them water. We saw in the gameplay just some huge compounds. You can, set up lights, change the color of your lights. You can make defenses like sentries and turrets and flamethrowers and traps, because raiders will attack you. You can decorate the inside, put, different couches, different beds. It looks just like an incredible system, like I said, extremely flexible, way better than Hearthfire and like Skyrim. It looks like you can really just create whatever you can envision, which is just amazing. It looks like something that should have been in Fallout for a while. It looks like it really just belongs there. It didn't seem out of place, and it just looks amazing. The depth of the system, like I said, the depth of the everything, the crafting, everything in this game looks so in depth, and like they worked on it for so long. This is no different. It looks just amazing. You can control like everything. Like I said, the color of the lights, just even small details you can customize. So it's just something that I'm super excited about. I think it's just going to add a whole nother aspect to the game. It's just going to take up so much time, and I'm pretty excited about it. Another cool thing they said is that you can have Brahmin caravans to just transport stuff to you between compounds. So like I said, you can have more than one, and you can kind of have like a system where you're spreading resources and stuff like that. Basically, guys, the system looks super in depth and super amazing. I'll put a link in the description to the actual demo so you guys can watch it and hear him explain it. But really, it just looks super exciting and something that I'm definitely looking forward to. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about the overall gameplay and what the game's going to focus on. So they still said that player freedom is their #1 priority in the game. As always, it is an open world where you can pretty much do whatever you want. One thing is that your character does talk in this game, and what you choose in your dialogue options isn't necessarily what your character will say. He might say it differently, or might say stuff on top of it. We see that in RPGs like The Witcher or Mass Effect. I personally am more of a fan of just, not even having dialogue, just, picking, set of text on the screen and having my character say that. I don't really feel like I need my character voice, but they did add that. I'm not, I have no problem with it, but it's something that I didn't really feel was necessary. But also, we got to see some of the gameplay and the combat. We have first person coming back, we have third person coming back, and we also have VATS making its return, which is the strategic way of playing where you can basically pause the game and target certain enemies. So that's pretty much it for the gameplay. Like I said, we didn't get to see a lot. We really just got to see certain features of the game, like a lot of crafting and some of the story and character creation too. But the world does look really good. The graphics look really impressive. It's running on a new engine, and I think it looks good. Some people had some complaints about it, but I kind of like the new style, and I was pretty impressed with the lighting and the graphics overall. So I think they did a good job on that. Moving on to the release, this game is going to be released November 10th on next-gen consoles and PC. A collector's edition was also confirmed, and that's going to have an actual Pip-Boy that you can put your smartphone in. It's going to include a metal case, a manual for the Pip-Boy, and a poster. So that's pretty cool. I think the actual Pip-Boy is kind of a cool thing, a nice little, gimmicky thing, but it's kind of, a nice collector's piece. They said it's going to cost $120 for the whole collector's edition, and they also said it was going to be very limited. So if you guys do want it, make sure you keep an eye out for when that does come out for pre-order, because you're going to want to get it quick before it sells out. One last thing is a free app for iOS did come out. It's called Fallout Shelter. It is free, like I said, but it does have some microtransactions, but I don't think you need to get the microtransactions. It kind of is like Tiny Tower. I don't know if you guys ever played that game, but you're basically managing a vault, managing the people inside of it, you know, what they do. You can manage what they wear, what they eat, and you kind of have to maintain this shelter. Kind of a cool game. I already downloaded it, and I'm going to get pretty into it, I think, this afternoon. I might post a review, I might not. I have to see how it goes. But if you do want a free game and you want to, you know, get into Fallout a little early, you guys can check that out. It does look pretty cool. But that pretty much does it for the video.